Okay, 5A and 5B, we're going to get ready for the math test that you're about to take. It starts on page 695 in your math book, and you'll do 695, 696, and 697. I'm going to go over some things with you before you take the test, so watch carefully. On the top of 695 is some vocabulary. One of the words is equivalent fractions. An equivalent fraction is taking a fraction and naming it in an equivalent way. For example, if we had the fraction 1/3, if we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, we get 2/6. And that is an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Okay, we've just done the same thing to the numerator and the denominator. A mixed number. We've been talking a lot about mixed numbers lately. You've added them and subtracted them. A mixed number has a whole number and a fraction with it. It is mixed. Whole number and fraction. The least common denominator, LCD, comes when you have two fractions, like 1/2 and 1/4, and you look to the denominator to see what is the lowest number both of those numbers can go into. You've been doing this all along. In this case, it would be 4. Unlike fractions. Now we haven't talked about that very much. Unlike fractions deals with if the denominators are the same or not. Unlike fractions would be something like 7/9 and 4/10. See, the denominators are unlike. They're not the same. But a like fraction has the same denominator. It makes it easy to add or subtract. 1/4 and 3/4. See, we have the same denominator and they are considered like fractions. Now on page 695, when you do numbers 6, 7, and 8, you are rounding. For example, you're going to the nearest 0, 1/2, or 1. Here's an example. If you have 6/7, it would round to 1. So do that on 6, 7, and 8. On page 696, 9 through 17 is all about adding fractions. Okay? Adding them. That's all you're doing is adding. I have to remind you that, of course, when you add, you get the common denominator. So if we had this problem, 1/2 plus 1/6, we will get the common denominator of 6 and then add it up. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 3/6 and 1/6 is 4/6. But the answer is not correct unless you simplify it. This would go to 2/3. I can't emphasize enough that you should be simplifying. Please simplify your fractions. Please do that. They're asking you to do that on 9 through 17 after you add. You're going to be asked to add a mixed number. So if you have 2 and 2/9 plus 4 and 8/9, it already has a common denominator of 9. We can add 2/9 and 8/9 and get 10/9. But this is improper, so it becomes 1 and 1/9. And then we're going to add in the other whole numbers, 2, 4, 1, and that becomes 7 and 1/9. We've been going over this and over this. In the next section, you're going to be estimating. They want you to estimate before you subtract. And please don't forget to put it in simplest form. Now, some of you, when they say estimate, that's all you're doing. That is not correct. If they ask you to estimate, they also want you to actually get the actual answer. So let's do one. 7/9 minus 1/6. So if I'm going to estimate this problem, it would be 7/9 would be 1, would estimate to 1, and 1/6 would go to 0. So the estimated answer is 1. Okay, that doesn't mean I stop there. It means that it gives me an idea of to what the actual answer is. Then I'm going to get the common denominator of 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 3 is 3. 9 times 2 is 18. 7 times 2 is 14. 14/18 minus 3/18 is 11/18. And that's close enough to our estimated answer of 1. So you will do the subtraction, you will estimate, and get the actual answer. Then on page 697, it's all about thinking through the problem. Thinking through. Are you going to add? Are you going to subtract? Are you going to simplify? Yes, you are. You're going to send in those 3 pages. And that goes all the way to number 27. Go to number 27. All 3 of those pages. The bonus was on Friday's video. So if you watched Friday's video, put your bonus somewhere on the page and I'll see it. Good luck. And I hope you do great on this math test.